Oh, right there she is. Alias. Right there. Right, that's Chrystia.
Chrystia. Yes. What the f*** are you doing in Alberta? You traitorous bitch. Get the f*** out of this province.
You don't belong here.
You're a traitor, you bitch.
Yeah, go ahead and hide.
All right, guys, you got a traitor in the elevator. Chrystia Freeland, I'm going.
This is Dan Dicks here, reporting for Press for Truth, and that clip that you just saw, ladies and gentlemen, was of the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, Chrystia Freeland, who was getting yelled at by a clearly frustrated individual who's upset with her policies, and rightly so, and this has the entire internet completely flipping out. Twitter in particular is quite upset about this. I'm seeing a lot of tweets like this one today. I'm disgusted by what happened to Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland and her staff. These attacks on women in politics are unacceptable, dangerous, and need to be condemned no matter your politics. So I couldn't help but chime in and have to point out this. But it's the current year. 50-50 cabinet of men to women means everyone gets treated equally, right? And in case you didn't know, back in 2015, when Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was selected for the office, he went and said that he made his cabinet 50-50 men and women. And when asked why, he said, because it's the current year. Not because they're qualified for the position or I did the due diligence to pick the right people for the job. No. It's the current year. And it's time we just get with the times and make the cabinet 50% women, which is why I said, okay, current year, 50% cabinet of men and women means everyone gets treated equally, right? Would you be all bent out of shape if this guy did this to a male politician? Yeah, I don't think so. In fact, I know these people wouldn't, because do you remember this? When this so-called native warrior egged Maxime Bernier? I mean, this guy's got this tweet pinned. He's so proud of this this moment. Let me just refresh it. This is Native Warrior at Timothy5815419 here visiting Maxime Bernier at an event, waiting his turn patiently to speak with Maxime Bernier, and when he gets his opportunity to walk up and get that selfie with the Canadian politician, what happens? Bam! Egg on the head. This is quite literally a physical, violent assault. And did Maxime Bernier press charges? No. Did the entire internet and Twitter flip out about this politician being accosted and physically abused? No, not at all. But here we have the entire internet flipping out because Chrystia Freeland was yelled at by a man as she got into an elevator. Well, as I said, I think he's pretty upset with her policies, and rightly so. I mean, back in when she released the budget in 2021, it was revealed that they were going to be fighting climate change and fighting greenhouse gas emissions by essentially cutting levels of emissions by 36% by 2030. That's why we're seeing all kinds of articles like this all the time now. Trudeau's fertilizer policy could spark a Canadian food crisis. Are Manitobans tired of suffering from high food prices at the grocery store? Well, the feds believe it's your God-given right to suffer some more as they impose even more onerous climate policies on farmers. And that's why I put this out not long ago, guys. Let's grow! Farmers are uprising globally in the fight for food freedom, pointing out how the Dutch had, guess what, 30% of their emissions called to be cut by 2030, and they had them up in arms, absolutely livid about this. And now that's the exact same thing that's happening in Canada as a part of Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland's policies. Now, I went and checked out the Facebook profile of the man who allegedly was the one yelling at Chrystia Freeland, and I do believe this is him. Not 100% confirmed, but it does seem to be the case. If you scroll down, it looks like he is in support of the Dutch farmers, which would explain why he was so livid with Chrystia Freeland. And as I said, rightly so, you know, with the title of this video, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and if people can turn a blind eye to Maxime Bernier being physically assaulted they should think again when some guy just voices his displeasure with a public figure and a politician. Guess what, Chrystia Freeland? That's what comes along with the package now. Guys, you may have recalled I put this out a little while back. Bilderberg 2022 is in session. Will Chrystia Freeland soon be the next Prime Minister of Canada? Yes, she was invited to Bilderberg, and often we do see that is the case, where people are invited and later on in life they turn up in extremely high positions of power. Guys, if you haven't seen that video, please check the links in the description. I will have it all there for you to check out. But moving on today, guys, I wanted to show you this as well. Canada confirms 22,922 new COVID-19 84 cases in just 1 week. Oh my gosh, what is happening here? You must be absolutely terrified. They probably want you to run out and get vaccinated right away. How can this be? Well, guys, if you've been paying attention to this channel for quite some time, you'll know that I've shown you time and time again and proved how the death numbers are fudged and how the case numbers are massively inflated. I mean, just look at this one example of this mother. This is how many test kits were sent home with just 2 kids only over the course of the spring at school. As she says here, finally cleaned out all the COVID test kits that my 2 kids were sent home with last spring. This is in New York. We used 0 of them, 87 tests unused. What a colossal waste of resources. Healthy kids don't need to test. And in fact, not only that, but if you continuously test time and time and time over and over again with these PCR tests that are run at incredibly high cycles, guess what? You're going to find coronavirus eventually, because if you've ever had the flu, if you've ever had a cold at any time in your life, you'll likely have a little coronavirus in you that they will pick up with these tests. And that's why we see these numbers continuously to be inflated as a way to ramp up the fear state so that you will continue to run out and get yourself inoculated, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I put out videos like this. Won't someone talk about the cases? Mandatory mask for Atlantic bubble is all about control. This is where they had like 0 deaths, you know, very, very low number of cases, and yet they still made masks mandatory there. Unbelievable. But this is interesting, guys, because this is back in November of 2020 when YouTube had actually terminated my channel. And they didn't give me a reason, but we all know exactly why. It was because of the things I was exposing with the COVID-19 84 nightmare. And for 7 months, my channel was deleted. No explanation. And then one day, they apologized to me over Twitter. YouTube reached out to me and said, "We're very sorry. We made a huge mistake. We've reinstated your channel." And since then, I've still been getting videos taken down for certain things that I apparently can or cannot say. Like, for example, this is back in July of 2021. I put this one out. 63% of those who died of Delta variant were vaxxed. And 47% of all new COVID-19 84 cases also vaxxed. And you'll notice here, I've put it on a number of different platforms that I post on, but not YouTube on this particular one, because I know this is going to get me a community guideline strike for so-called medical misinformation. Well, guess what, guys? That is all just recently changed. Look at this. This is what used to be a list of things you just simply cannot say on YouTube, and the one highlighted in here in blue has recently been removed, meaning you can say this now. And what it says here is claims that COVID-19 vaccines do not reduce risk of contracting COVID-19. You used to not be able to say that. Well, that has just been removed from their list of things you can't say. And not only that, guys, this one as well. Get a load of this. These 3 things have just been removed from the list of things you can't say on YouTube. Claims that wearing a mask causes oxygen levels to drop to dangerous levels. So if I used to make that claim, which I did, I would be get a strike for medical misinformation. Well, they've taken that away. You can now say these things. Claims that masks cause lung cancer or brain damage. Or claims that wearing a mask gives you COVID-19 84. These have been removed. These are no longer things you cannot say, which makes you think, guys, why do you think they've removed these things and you are now legally allowed to make these claims? Because this is the truth. This is what's been going on all along. This is why they've been trying to suppress my information. This is why I put this out like a week ago. You've been lied to about the COVID-1984 global pandemic, and the truth is now coming out. And I just really, really hope that people can see it. If you haven't seen this one, guys, once again, check the links in the description below. I want to show you a couple other really important articles here, but really quickly before I do, if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this info, please check me out at pressfortruth.ca/donate. Here you can do PayPal by clicking there. You can do Bitcoin by clicking there, or other cryptocurrencies here. You can join me on Subscribestar. You can also sign up for a monthly reoccurring contribution right here. Thank you so much to everybody who does. You can also send an e-transfer to dan@pressfortruth.ca, or if you like to keep things old school like I do, you can send things to my P.O. box, guys. Links for everything are located in the description below. Once again, thank you so much to everybody who does take the time to support my efforts here at Press for Truth. All right, get a load of this, guys. Nunavut expands COVID-1984 vaccine to all children aged 6 months to 4 years old. The Nunavut government says it's expanding eligibility for COVID-1984 vaccines to all children aged 6 months to 4 years. In fact, they should be saying, we want none of it. None of it for us, thank you, but it's indeed the exact opposite, which is mind-boggling to me. When this is the Native community we're dealing with here, guys, the very same people who literally had to deal with disease-ridden blankets being given to them by the government. The very same people who have had their land stolen and who have every reason not to trust the government right now is just eating it up, just clamoring for whatever the government gives them as a solution to their current problems, which are created by the government themselves. But it's mind-boggling to me that this particular community does not see this for what it is. It's like a Stockholm Syndrome type of situation. Absolutely crazy. And now they're going to be giving it to their little 6-month-old babies. This is just absolutely disgusting, so just wanted to bring that to your attention. Also, check out this article, guys. Doctors finally understand one of the scary ways that coronavirus kills. We've finally got it figured out now, nearly 3 years into this thing. The novel coronavirus's attack on the human body is so complex that it can lead to a whole slew of unexpected symptoms and complications that can be deadly. Neurologists observed a few weeks ago that some of their patients who were displaying symptoms consistent with a neurological disease, including confusion and seizures, were infected with SARS-CoV-2. A few days ago, we found out that one of the strangest COVID-19 symptoms is also one of the deadliest. Doctors from Mount Sinai Health System noticed an increase in young patients with stroke symptoms. All of them tested COVID-19 positive. But ladies and gentlemen, every time they do these things, they neglect to tell you whether or not these people have been vaccinated. And when I've looked into these cases, 100% of the time they have. But it's not mentioned in the paper. It's not mentioned in the article. So get a load of this. They're going to start to claim that all these blood clots, the myocarditis, all the things are because of COVID and not because of the vaccines. It's absolutely insane. A few days ago, we found out that one of the strangest symptoms is also one of the deadliest. All of them tested for COVID-19 positive, raising the possibility that the virus is responsible for creating blood clots that can reach the brain and then block local arteries. Turns out the disease can indeed lead to increased blood coagulation, and that tiny blood clots can then develop right in the lungs. Now researchers have finally figured out how it all happens. But look how this article continues. Just listen to the language here, okay? This is important. The team called the disorder pulmonary intravascular coagulopathy, or PIC, which is different than disseminated intravascular coagulopathy, or DIC, observed with other medical conditions. This disorder might be responsible for blood clots finding their way to the brain and the heart, where they can lead to stroke or heart attack, and it could explain the oxygenation issues that appear in severe COVID-1984 cases, leading to the need for oxygen therapy and ventilation. Do you notice the language there, guys? This might be responsible for blood clots. This can lead to stroke. It could explain why these issues are appearing. But yet the headline is doctors finally understand. They finally figured it all out. Yeah, they figured out that this may be the cause, and it could explain these things. You know what else could? The shots. This is something that is very obvious to viewers of this channel. You know, it's the unvaccinated who are not having any issues here moving forward. You know, all my unvaccinated friends are doing just fine. And I know so many people who have been coerced into taking this highly experimental medical technology procedure, coerced into it, who are now dealing with issues. Neurological issues, blood clotting issues, people who have even died, I know. But I don't know a single person who's unvaxxed who's having any issues right now. That tells you something, ladies and gentlemen. And again, this is why we can't trust these types of articles and headlines, because we've proven time and time again that these things are a lie. That's not the case. Again, that's why I put out you've been lied to about COVID-1984 global pandemic, and the truth is now coming out. Again, if you haven't seen that one, guys, check the links in the description. And by that, you know, I don't put all the links on my website. So if you're watching this video on my website, like this one, for example, if you want all the sources, you're going to have to go to any place where I post my videos. Like this, for example. You click on here. It'll bring you to my BitChute. You can then click on more, as you see over here, and then you'll get all the sources to all, so every single video, I put all the sources in there, so you can do your own due diligence. You can go in, look into it, not take it for my word, but do the actual research yourself. And people lately have been asking me, where do I find all the sources? You have to go to one of the platforms where the video is hosted, like here, Odyssey, for example. And in this case, in Odyssey, you would scroll down and you would click more down here, and then and here it is. Here's all the sources to the video. So, anyways, just in case people weren't aware of how to do that. But I just wanted to bring all these things to your attention today, guys, because especially the hypocrisy going on behind the Chrystia Freeland so-called attack. I mean, this is a frustrated Canadian voicing his discontent with a public figure, and he didn't get violent, he didn't get physical, like this absolute douchebag did by physically assaulting Maxime Bernier of the People's Party of Canada. Yeah, this guy was hailed as a hero online for this. So it just goes to show that double standard. Meanwhile, she has every right to be getting accosted and yelled at. You know, me personally is not how I would handle the situation. As you know me, I'm kind of a mild-mannered, kind of soft-spoken gentleman. I would not speak to a woman in that manner, even though I may feel those frustrations equally as he does. It's not how I particularly would have handled the situation, but I still don't condemn the guy for doing it. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, and I don't recall if I said this or not, but I did reach out to him for an interview to provide him this platform here at PFT to explain to us his position and what he was thinking. I haven't heard a response yet, but if I do, I guess you'll see that video soon. So anyways, guys, just wanted to bring all this stuff to your attention. Once again, if you do appreciate my efforts to continuously break this down for you and sift through all the propaganda, once again, don't forget to check me out here at pressfortruth.ca/donate. Once again, all the links are located in the description below. And that's all for today, my friends. I want to thank you once again for watching. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button. Share this video with all your friends and family who you really think need to see it the most. And stay tuned. We're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.